Super good. So yeah, so here we are. Marty and I wanted to create a series about actually the behind the scenes and how we are putting together our startup, how we are going to be working with collaborators and what it takes, and also like the up and downs, the emotional stuff that is happening here and how we're dealing with that. Because there were some points where it was really hard for me to really lead because because I was unsure about the direction where we were going to go. So I had something in mind. I had the vision in mind, but I wasn't really sure and not really certain about how I'm going to go about that. I didn't know what the team needed, the collaborators needed. I didn't really know what Marty needed in that place. And on top of all of it, I completely overworked myself. For the last 2, 3 weeks or something like this, I have been so tired and I still am, but I'm working my way through it. And I just want to be completely transparent with that because I think it's going to help a lot of people in that same situation to do it different. So please learn from our mistakes and from our gains and from what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong.
It's so much when you're starting something that you don't really know the terrain, you don't know everything you need. The fear is there of taking a risk. It might be calculated, it might be just a risk because you're at your wits' ends and you don't know what to do other than change what you're doing. And
Mm.
sometimes that sidestepping or that tripping over your own 2 feet causes apprehension and tension. And then you lack the clarity to say, okay, no, no, no. So one of the things that has helped me, because this is all new to me. This is very new to me. Yes, I've been in business before, but it was more like selling a product type of thing. It was very minimal involvement with the audience, with the people that are dealing with you, the team that is corroborating with you and everything. All this is new, but at the same time, I see that all these little pieces that I'm in venturing and gaining, I'm learning a lot from it that I didn't realize I had. A lot of it is everything about communicating, everything about relationship building, trust, liking, disliking, being honest, and that kind of sets you firm on your feet to not deviate too much from the plan. And another thing, always remember your why. Why is it that I'm daring to do this? Why am I bold enough to go outside of my comfort zone and stay out there? Because that's what we end up doing. We start
Mm.
we start practicing a different version of what we used to do, and it's amazing, it's dangerous, it's daring, it's everything combined, but we have to ground ourselves back into, okay, I got this far, not too bad, I'm still alive, I'm surviving. What's the next step? What's the next step that I can control without having to involve very many people? And you end up seeing that if you can't involve the people that you want them to all be in on the same page in the same book, it's kind of like, I should do this all by myself. But this is where we all fail as well, because
Mm.
no one coexists in this world by themselves. You have to have help. And the more help, the more you realize the talents and treasures of everyone, the more you see the potential to meet and greet something new, an idea, a innovative way of doing things that you didn't know you did. So it's kind of like an expedition. You're given a whole bunch of fear at the same time. Ooh, that looks fun, and you do have fun, and it's a roller coaster, just like life. But when you dare to go way past, that's when you start gaining knowledge, experience, and at the same time, confidence to continue the mission of what your why is. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
It absolutely is. And so the one part that I've noticed is like in my leadership style as well. It's like or I had some, I don't know what to call it. It might be a disagreement with who I really am. So there were there was one episode where I started to delegate someone from my need one of wanting to help one of the team members. And I was just like, okay, so could you please do that for him? Or could you just, so I was starting to delegate without really taking into account, hey, these guys, they are not just my team. Those are our collaborators. Those are the people who have their very own company. They have their very own mindset. They have their very own agenda and how they do things. And how can I just swoop in and just go, you do the that, like kind of like
Right.
that. So, and then later on, I was just like, oh my goodness, I just did that. I just did that. I have to correct this on the spot now because that's not the type of leader I want to be. That's not the person that I am at all. I was so enthusiastic, yes, and I wanted to help one of our team members. Um, But in the end, I apologized publicly and I made it clear, hey, look, that's not the way that I'm going to be working with you. So there are different aspects of leadership and about working with a team. And, right now at this very moment, I am taking a course on Scrum and Agile and all of that because of the certificates. I mean, I've been doing this for 18 plus years. But taking certificates was something that is necessary, so I'm doing this. And what I have learned through the Scrum technique, now I don't know if anyone is familiar with this, but it's a specific technique. And I was just like, yes, I can take sections from this, which actually I have been doing from my gut feeling because I just knew this is the way that we are going to have to work together, and we are all in different time zones. So,
Yeah.
and we all have a lot on our plates. So, how do we create something together, considering the minimal time that we actually have in order to get the stuff done, and the communication that we need for this, and the willingness that we need for this? For example, we have just planned on having and it's quite late on this, I have to admit, but we are planning on creating a bundle. So that means all of the collaborators, all of their input together comes into this course. And so it's going to get out equal shares for everyone. And the part where it's really hard is like, I don't know if everybody actually wants to do that. Maybe they're only here to test ride our product, which was actually the agreement that we made.
Mhm.
So there's that, right? So, but at the same time, we want to use Disruptive Rebels as a platform to get these startups going as well. So to use that while we are building up, we also want to build them up at the same time. So there is a lot of stuff that's coming in here. And so in the background, I'm constantly working on like the marketing, the branding, the overall planning of all of it, the BMC that we need, the business model canvas. So there are so many questions that I have and that needs answering. So I observe more than I'm actively doing stuff. It's just like, okay, so how is it going in the group? How is everybody doing? Where is everyone at? What kind of support do they need and how can we actually do this? So all of that, it's a lot.
It,
It's a lot, specifically if you don't really know the direction, because I had the idea and I was just like, oh, Marty, are you going to be on board? And she was like, yay, we're going to do this. And I'm like, what are we actually doing?
well,
Right?
here's
So,
here's the crux of the matter, because it is exciting to venture into something new that you kind of find the same mindset of people. They want the end result to be basically we all want the same thing. We want to better the world. Okay, that's all good and dandy. But how much can each person contribute according to their daily routine? What
Yeah.
is it that they want to better the world? So it's more like let's not bite the whole chunk all at once and just kind of meander a little bit and observe the palates of the people. Each one has a niche. Each one has a different aspect that they want to corroborate with. So I would think, and this is just my opinion because like I said, this is all I'm a newbie, wet behind the ears, but I'm willing. I'm ready to do something differently. Now, here's the thing. I think if we all have like a set of steps, basic steps, we're going to all meet once each one of us completes these steps. If there's a reason why we can't complete it, please provide us with that. And at the same time, let us help you get it done by our own aspects. And
Yeah.
I think that is a fair way for everyone to work a little harder without feeling super, pressured to get it done. Life is busy and you can't expect anything to go A, B, C, D, E. No, it's more like you're facing it. It looks great. Everything sounds good. Everyone's on board. Something happens, you have to shift. And you're still looking at
Mm.
the goal, but you have to shift and you have to rearrange what it was that made you shift, get it out of the way, resolve it, consult with the rest of the group and say, okay, I'm facing this. What can I do? And I think that in and of itself is a better team building spirit because
Mm.
people will know something's not they're not able to do this, and you're not condemning them because the leader wants to have it all done, but the leader has to consider that each one is not at the same pace or rate that you're
Exactly.
working. So
Exactly.
that is, I think that is primo for anything that you take on, but more importantly, to keep it grounded where you're not giving up, where you're not getting flustered, where you're not like, well, I don't know what they want. I can't figure it out. So this is where resilience also comes in because it is an adversity. It definitely is an adversity to face something that's going to cause you fear or doubts or misinterpretations or lack of knowledge, whatever you want to label it, it's going to be there. And it's for you to pick out what you can decipher, the rest of it, congregate with the team and say, okay, how can we resolve this? And I think each one of us could grow a little better at being a team as well as leading whatever it is that they're doing on the side. So we all, it's a learning experience for all of us. And the more we learn, the more we're able to adapt, the more we're able to shift, the more we're able to surpass, survive, and succeed. And it's all part of life, but it's not a cakewalk. If it were a cakewalk, we'd all be in it.
My concern was when I started to talk about creating a product together. What I have noticed, or what the question in the back of my mind was, how would that sit with me? And I was like, I would have a problem with it the moment that someone else would claim the rights on my content. And I'm like, so how can we create something that is better, something that actually caters to that fear or to that thought? Because that would be right if they would say, hey, actually, this is my stuff, and now you're calling it Disruptive Rebels stuff. So, no, that's not what it's going to be. What we did is we came up with the idea to actually include it as a bundle within whatever it is that we are offering, like for startups. We are offering taking them from idea to market fit offer to success.
Mhm.
And I was wondering, how can we implement, because all of these people that we have, they're all collaborators as well on the Disruption by Design project with the site, which we are going to be having because we are looking actively for a plot of land where we can have people with their labs, with their, just people who they can test with and test on. So we're going to have that, mm, yeah, like a lab basically,
It's
where
a
people can
system. It's
test
a
it and see, is my product, is my program, is my service actually working, and getting real feedback, like real feedback. I find that so important, and the honesty within all of that. So that was the part where I was saying, okay, so let's just bundle everything, and they can then take whatever it is that they have created separately for their own platform. So it's not us taking anything from them. It's just a collaborative effort to make this work, because what they bring to the table is just, it's mind blowing. They are not just people with heart, which was one of the things that we really looked for, is character, but they really have stuff and they do things that help every startup, although they are startups themselves, but it really helps them. So it's just mind blowing what they do. And,
something.
some people, I have been thinking about, how can we implement that?
So something that I would compare, like I've been my solo art author, as an author. It's a different ballgame than when you're writing with a whole group of people in anthology.
Mm.
Each one is respected for their chapter, but the beauty of an anthology is it's a bigger platform, a bigger network. So you're really contributing your portion to a bigger audience. A solo book, you're contributing it to whoever is out there. Okay. But if you have a bigger audience and a lot bigger network, the chances are you're going to expose yourself a whole lot more. So if we were to write, each individual would write their own ebook. They still have claims to that ebook, but
Yes.
we have the system, and that's what we claim as being all of us contributing to that system. No one loses their ownership of what they've done. They simply claim it in a different version of what it is that each one is putting out because of their signature, their branding, their everything that they contribute.
Yeah.
So it personally, I'm not bothered by pitching in and helping put it, because I've had the experience of doing it both ways with the book. On the contrary, I see now that the more you are involved with other people doing the same thing, which old school old Marty would say, competition, I don't need competition. I'm going to do it all on my own. But the problem is the competition is us, our doubts, our fears, our inadequate way of figuring things out. At the same time, our pride, because we don't dare ask someone that's already done it, how do you do this? Oh no, you got to work your butt off for 30 years to figure out how you did it. But the beauty of internet, the beauty of the pandemic and everything that has transpired since, it seems like more and more people are gathering together to make it a team effort, to make it a worldwide movement, instead of I'm just putting a little piece of the puzzle for
Mhm.
somebody else to bite off. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tricky. It's definitely a different experience, but it's so well worth it when you see the end results. And I'm seeing
Mhm.
results of people just grown in the last few months. I've seen people grow just from the fact that we're all getting together, even if we're not paying attention 124/7, we still, get a taste of what people offer. And I didn't know that half of these people do what they do. And
Mhm.
it's amazing that they're even generous enough to spend time with us to contribute, because
Mhm.
it seems like there's no way that that person that does that much can come in here with little old me that it's got the wet ears, but it's cool, and it is rewarding, and I say everybody should try it. And if they do, then they'll see how much more they learn of themselves and of each other and of humanity, because we are all in the same boat. We all want the
Yeah.
same things. We just don't know how to do it. And so we feel inadequate, but that's the least of our worries.
The question for me also was, who do we include? Because startups, I mean, there are like a million startups out there, but who do we actually include? And then coming down to like, what does humanity need at this very point? And what solution are we going to bring to the table? And this is where Matt actually has helped us to refine that mission and that vision as well, because I have always been into permaculture and looking at the easiest ways to recover Earth from all of the desertification that is happening, specifically in Africa, in India, in Asia. You have so many places, and also in the United States, and then in South America, where it's starting with all of the deforestation happening. So my question then was, okay, so who do we include? And then we came to the conclusion to say, okay, it's going to be green startups, it's going to be blue startups, it's going to be everyone, all of the startups which can contribute to helping fight homelessness, fight hunger, and fight poverty. So and while we are doing all of this, we are regreening the earth. So we are not just bringing wealth. We are not just giving startups a way to be out there. Yes, we do that. That's the plan. However, we also have a bigger plan that's supporting something bigger here. So it's just amazing. And at this very moment, we're still looking for some people in green tech and blue tech, whoever's coming there. We already have someone in waste reduction, and he is a clothing designer for with leather products. It's like incredible what he
Who
does.
knew?
It's
Who knew
really,
that
I didn't know that
that
precision, but
a
wow.
vehicle getting put together could
Yeah.
be recycled, uh,
Yeah.
and be productive and invigorating for the people involved in it. It gives them
Mm,
jobs, it gives them an adventure, it gives them something different to do. And that's the
yeah.
beauty of signature products or ideas. It's just no one's ever done this before, but it should also inspire others to think of their own version of what to do. What is it that
Mm,
they are so good at that they've never even realized they were good at because they didn't surround themselves with those people that are feeding that feedback and saying, wow, and this happened to me. This happened to
mm.
me. I was one, okay, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna put it in Amazon. Let's see what happens. Kind of very, very like low keyed, and at the same time, boom, it won an award. No, it won two awards. No, it won four awards. Oh my God, wait a minute. I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. Okay, not one book. I'm on my eighth book. Okay, no, going on ninth book. Now it's just, I just keep going. I just keep going. And I'm not focused on one particular thing in particular, but at the same time, I want to produce something that is well deserving of my time and effort
Yes.
to share with the world. So
Yeah.
what I'm doing is throwing my experience in with a different version of the same thing I've lived for 65 years, but at the same time, I want other people to know that they are not alone, that they can very much start like I did and write and create their story, write their signature product, their version of what it is they want to contribute to the world. Leave that legacy. When you ask those hard questions to yourself, there's no one else responsible
Mm.
of why you can't take that risk, why you can't dare to do. You are your own inhibition. You are your own person blocking you and not being sure. But when you erase all that, you throw it out there. You throw it out there
Mm.
and you know it's going to land somewhere important. And you're going to say, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I
Yeah.
dared. And
And we have,
that's
yeah,
how it should be.
yeah. And so in this line of book writing, we have already helped a few people here in our collaborative team. And when I look at that, it's just really beautiful to see just how,
Oh,
for example, we have one person here who is a single dad who does the startup all at once. So this is a lot. This is a lot if you don't have a partner and you have a child and you have a startup, because startups are crazy. They're just crazy. If you don't have any support, then it's really important that you get the support at least from the group that you are in. So this is actually what we are doing. And we also came up with the idea, you know what? Why not write a chapter, each of us, like 50 to 100 pages, and we're going to put it together and throw it out there on the market for startups. So everybody who's there, they're not all catering to startups, but we are going to make it so that they take what it is that they do and they apply it to the needs of startups. So I think that would be or will be absolutely marvelous. I'm so looking forward to that.
I call it like a gathering of tools. Each one has their
Yeah.
own unique tool with a different purpose, but for the same mission to
Mm.
make the world better. And that's where each one expressing their own version of what it is they want to contribute makes it miraculous, makes it unbelievable because people didn't know that they could be part of something bigger. And that it just keeps expanding. It's like, wow,
Mm.
we started with a few people, now we're at a bigger group. And at the same time, I say this isn't going to stop because the more people are aware of it, the more they're going to want to do the same thing. And
Yeah.
if young people start getting that venturesome idea of let me try it a different way, all this tried and true doesn't seem to be working because we're all still in the same rut, broke, depressed, and we don't know what we're going to be doing. And
Yeah.
that we got to get all that out of our system and say, what haven't I tried? What haven't I dared to do? And just get bold, be bold, and you will discover a million of treasures in you and others around you. So just surround yourself with the right people. I promise you, it's going to change your world.
It absolutely does. So thank you so much for listening. And this was our blurb for today, just giving you a few insights on what leadership and what actually pulling together a startup requires from you. And it just requires a lot of openness, a lot of flexibility, and also considering whom you are working with and why you are working and why you're doing all of this. So just like Marty already said, resilience is super important. So thank you so much for listening, and we talk to you the next time.
Take care. God bless.
DMR out.